so many times, and that's going to be the key word for today's bit of advice, so many times I've been in situations where I feel like I'm wasting my time. And it's not that I need to waste my time, it's just that I'm in a situation where my time is being wasted. And that annoys me. And I know I'm not the only one. No one really wants to have their time wasted, but it's a major pet peeve. Not just a bugaboo. Not just an idiosyncrasy. I get upset when it feels like my time is being wasted. Unintentionally, certainly intentionally, I don't like wasting time. And I've never liked having my time wasted. It's one of the reasons why I feel that showing up early is the right thing, or certainly on time, but late is never acceptable. That's a big sign of disrespect, especially if you planned to meet someone somewhere at a certain point. And things happen. Absolutely, things happen. And when those things have happened, you know, for me, you know, on the end where I was going to be late, I made sure I messaged ahead to let them know, hey, this is what's going on, and my arrival is now going to be this. I hope that's okay. Because I know how I feel when that happens to me. And it's forgivable. It's not like, you know, a punishable offense. But it's still something that if you planned on a certain time to be in a certain spot to meet someone or have a meeting or whatever, things happen, but if that keeps happening over and over and over again with the same person, you may want to think about reevaluating how you manage those meetings, if that's even possible or practical. And the reason I'm talking about time and these times is because it's the answer. Time. It's on my side. Yes, it is. Yours too. When I ask people, what's the most valuable thing you have? The most valuable thing that you have? Some people would respond and say, well, I have a full collection of vintage Star Wars figures that I collected over the years. They're all in mint condition, C9 condition, or C10, complete with weapons. And I'd say, nope, that's not the most valuable thing you have. I have a prop replica of nope. I'm just gonna stop you right there. That is also not the most valuable thing you have. But it's worth thousands. Nope, still not the most valuable thing you have. I have investments that nope. No, money is not the most valuable thing you have. What do you mean money is not the most valuable thing? Chris, what are you doing? You're talking to yourself again. What's going on? Money is not the most valuable thing you have. It isn't. Are you putting two and two together here yet? With the key word for today's advice, time. These times. Time is the most valuable, the most precious resource you have. Don't waste it. And if you find yourself in a situation where you feel like you are wasting your time and wasting your breath and wasting your energy, it's not a good situation to be in. Especially if it feels like Groundhog Day. If you keep running into the same situation over and over and over again, trying to get beyond a problem, trying to get beyond a hurdle. Because you just spinning your wheels, and especially doing that with somebody else, is not productive. It's the opposite. I mean, I'm not even saying that, you wouldn't be troubleshooting or trying to work through the problem together in those moments, but if it feels like you're wasting your time, understand you are wasting something far more valuable than money. Time is the most valuable thing you have. And as far as social media is concerned, time does play a role, certainly. Only in internet terms, that's usually measured in attention. Because time and attention are synonymous, right? Your attention is going to be on one thing or another. So if you spend all your time and attention wasting all that attention and time, you're losing out. Because time, unlike money in many cases, unlike other things in many cases, is one thing you cannot get back. It marches forward. It moves forward. The moment is there and gone. And I implore you to think about situations in your life where you just feel like it keeps happening over and over and over again and you're not getting anywhere. You could be wasting time. You could be wasting energy. And there are probably people in your life who you feel do nothing but waste your time. Do nothing but sap you of your energy. Do nothing apart from just take from you that most precious? I'm making up words now. Precious of items. Precious of things. Time. They're taking your time. Guard your time. Protect your time. There have been times where I knew that I would be wasting my time to move forward with something. I would still move forward with it, but not do it on their terms, but my terms. So if that would have been, can we get together for a meeting? Sure, we can do a phone call, right? Half hour. Well, it'd be great if you can come over and yeah, we're going to do a phone call. There's nothing in person that's going to be accomplished that we can't do on a phone call. And then, of course, when you get on that phone call and spend a half hour with them, you realize that phone call could have been an email. Time. You should be in control of that time in terms of the things that need to be done in your life. And sometimes that time is spent taking care of tasks and your responsibilities. They come first, absolutely. But what we do with the other time, well, that's up to you. If you do have the opportunity to spend time on other things, you need to recharge, right? You're not being lazy, you're recharging. You can't spend all your time recharging. That's no. You're not a teenager, okay? Unless you are, at which point I will just tell you ahead of time. Time is the most valuable thing you have. Don't waste it. Guard it. It's the one thing you cannot get back. And once you start seeing that and looking at your day through that lens, everything becomes more clear. Because suddenly you start realizing that you're spending time on projects, on leisure, on activities, on nothing, and you're not getting any fulfillment out of it. And that's not to say that you have to get fulfillment out of, every waking moment of the day, but recognizing that you may be wasting time. You may be wasting somebody else's time. Someone else may be wasting yours. You may be wasting your own time. Just think about the time that you spend. Why you spend the time the way you choose to, the way you have to, finding the balance between those two. And I'm saying this because one of the reasons I decided this year as the New Year's resolution that I wanted to live stream every day, that turned out to be live streaming every day on Twitch, streaming this live video here, recorded live to tape, was because I got through 2020 and I spent time, just like many people did, reflecting, doing things. I can't say that a lot of my life was necessarily disrupted. A fair amount was, certainly. I don't think anybody really escaped the impact of the pandemic. And I don't even think we're out of the woods yet. Just wait until winter comes around again. Not looking forward to that. But I got through the year, 2020, and I realized that as much as I was, operating at peak efficiency, I felt, and doing everything that I needed to do, I found myself wasting so much time reading news, watching news, listening to news. So much time, because I enjoy it. I genuinely do. I was always a huge fan of current events. I stay up on things. I read for analysis and perspectives, and I don't just mean perspectives that are mine. Very often I'll go down the rabbit hole and learn about somebody else's perspective, if only to get a better idea about where they're coming from. Not to say that I'm looking for any sign of agreement. Just curious. Morbid curiosity, right? But I spent so much time in news. And I got to the end of the year and I'm like, the hell was I thinking? I mean, I enjoyed it, but I got nothing out of it because the news cycle repeats, or, you know, every day it's a new bit of news, and then you're spending all your life in news. And as much as I enjoy it, I realize that I could be doing different things with my time, the most precious of commodities. And I spend time with Jedi, plenty of time with. Trust me, I'm no stranger to Jedi at all. We are not strangers. But, you know, when I had the downtime, it'd be news. I didn't have anything else that I wanted to watch necessarily. I'd caught up on all my shows. So this year, I made that change. And I can sit here and tell you, 6 months in, now 7 months in as we're through July, I am happier. I am more fulfilled. I can look back at this library of live streams that I've done over the past few months. I can look at that as feeling like I grew. And I did something that I knew I could do, and that was going to be fulfilling.
JLD 250 Cheerdex 100.
Thank you so much for the tip. I count cheers as a tip. That works for me. It's nice to get tips. Not just share tips. It's nice to get tips, especially in the middle of giving a tip. But I feel better. I feel I've already accomplished something. I just changed how I managed my time, or I changed what I was doing, and I basically gave myself something to do such that I wasn't zoning out. I zone out. Like, at the end of the night, I'm like, I'm zoned, right? But I'm being active right now. And if I wasn't doing this, I'd probably still be doing that. I still listen to news. In the car, I'm listening, right? You know, if I'm on my phone, usually I'm scrolling through. I'm reading what I need to read, right? But like a lot of TV news, I've kind of dropped for a lot of different reasons. A lot. And this is not about one side versus the other, because they're all the same side as far as I'm concerned. One side is slightly more entertainment skewed than the other, but I'm not getting into that right now. Spend your time wisely, because if you don't, someone else will. And I mean that by saying that they will waste your time. If you don't spend your time the way that you want to spend your time, what are you doing with it? Do something with your time that you feel is bringing some degree of fulfillment for you. And that may very well be hanging out with other people online. It's fulfilling.
Shrek, who just resubscribed for 6 months. Pirillo jazzed.
Thank you so much. I am blessed, Shraiku. Thank you for the faith and being around for the next 6 months. I guess I'll be streaming for the next 6 months. Sound good? 6 months? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I almost said 7, but 6. At least 6 months? Is this a good number? 6?